Mic on. Audio on. We should be live. We're live to 4 viewers. Audio on. Oh, I'm getting feedback on my end. We should be live. We're live to 4 viewers. Audio on. Oh, I'm getting feedback on my end. We should be live. You know why? Because I'm watching myself. That's why. All right.
You're so narcissistic.
You're in a loop.
I'm in a loop. All right. We're starting our second session of Zweihander, a bitter harvest. Welcome to the people that are watching us. We have a few there in chat. Thank you for joining us. We're going to kick things off with a recap from last week, and I'm going to call upon my players to go ahead and do a recap. Who wants to volunteer? Or it could be a group effort. You guys can all jump in and take turns.
Well, we were attending a very nice wedding that had a lot of good food and entertainment that we partook in. And we discovered that the groomsman's dowry payment of some herb weed, something of that nature, hemp, did not arrive. So we were hired to find out what happened to it and to retrieve it. And we came upon the shipment all in place, but the person that was going to be delivering it was missing.
Okay.
That's what I remember.
Anybody else have anything to add on to that?
Right. Well, I remember us carrying some waif on my back, trying to win a prize and throwing cabbages at each other and eating too much.
There was a sausage off at one point in the night. And I know that sounds obscene, but things got a little out of hand.
It was also an arranged marriage, and the father of the bride seemed more concerned about the missing dowry than his daughter's well-being.
Yes.
We got hired on to help the new groomsman. We accompanied him back to his town and discovered where his dowry had been ambushed by what we figured to be something not quite human. Wildings or something corrupted.
Mutants.
That had mutants, right? And they oddly had not taken anything. They just slaughtered everybody and destroyed the wagons, and then they returned back in the direction of the town.
Yes, that's right. Nothing was taken. Just a mass slaughter. Because there was 3 bales of hemp, which are worth quite a lot of money, as you guys wanted to take some time and calculate to see how much this was worth, and contemplated possibly stealing it for yourselves. Some of you, at least.
Speak for yourselves. We were calculating it to find out what the appropriate reward would be.
Oh, right.
Percentage values, yeah.
Yes, that's right. Because you weren't happy with what he agreed to pay you.
I believe one of them bales of hemp may have accidentally got hidden on my wagon.
Yeah, and your little rickshaw that you got.
A rickshaw.
It's not much bigger. It carries him and his goods, but he's a large little man. Yeah, that's right. So yeah, there's a big wedding. You guys are passing through the area. You ended up in town, and you were mistaken for wedding goers or guests from out of town. The groom took a particular interest in you, Maximilian Steger, and especially you, Edmund. Did he not? He liked the cut of your jib. He could tell you were from a higher class, and he made his way over to you.
My purse more than me.
That's right. A couple times over to you throughout the night, and discussed business and possibly future business dealings. There was a fight between him and his new father-in-law regarding a missing bride token or dowry for the bride. The bride seemed rather sad all evening and distanced, and her new husband Maximilian was never really around her. As it was, he seemed more interested in other things. Didn't really seem to particularly care what was going on with her. You guys did agree to take on a job to accompany Maximilian, his new bride, and her maid of honor, along with 3 hired mercenaries, to escort them back to Vorburg, which is the city or town, I should say, that Maximilian is from. And along the way, you guys did encounter the remnants of the wagon trail that was headed towards the wedding with the bride token on it. And like Barsh had mentioned, it was completely devastated, taken down with arrows that looked to be of mutant fashion. None of the goods were taken. Men were slaughtered. And I do believe there were 2 people missing we may have got into. I don't know if you guys remember that. That would have been right at the very end when you guys are making all your checks for things to notice. If not, that will come up when we kick off tonight's session. That there are some people not among the bodies. And yes, an important thing was that it looks like the attackers came from the direction of Vorburg and then made their way back. So, the next thing we should do is we have some people here watching us. We have some viewers. Why don't we just do a quick, brief rundown of who each character is. What you are, who you are, what you're good at, what you're made for. So let's go down the order. I'm going to go across the bottom of my screen here on Roll20. So let's start with Edmund. Who is Edmund Randolph?
Right, my name's Edmund Randolph. I'm a smuggler. I can get whatever you need in and out of the cities. I'm also about 5 by 5. I like to eat, but that doesn't mean I can't get things taken care of.
All right. Edmund, next we have Elric.
Elric is a kind of a standard size human. He's a highwayman. He's kind of the Robin Hood character. Wants to make sure everyone's charmed as well as putting their money in the right place.
Right. A man of the road. King of the road. Erg. Oh, I'm going to say this wrong. Let me go to your characters. Erg Singe Belch.
Erg is a ogre astronomer who dabbles with a little bit of magic and is definitely not who you want to go speaking for your party.
No, we found that out last time. He said all kinds of awkward things to the groom, did he not? Oh, and that was one thing I wanted to put in the recap, that the groom came to you with a very difficult question. Did he not?
And got a very not right answer.
Yes. Which was great.
He asked me, if I'm trying to remember, he asked
if
the wedding is
yes. Go ahead.
If the wedding counts if there is no bride token delivered. And I gave him that position might be defensible as an answer.
Exactly. I'm just setting up our initiative here because we got to roll that soon. Next we have Ruby Goodchild.
Right. Ruby is a halfling of low birth who has spent her days among war bands and as a higher sword. She is skilled in the use of light weapons, especially a court sword that she's very fond of, and is extremely particular about her doing a job well, to the point of being prideful at times. She's also extremely fun and easily commands attention and merriment, and when she's not killing people, she's quite a lot of fun to have around.
All right, and last but not least, Barsh. I call you Barsh because I can never remember how to say your full name.
Barshin, but
There
Barsh is fine. Barsh is a fighting dwarf. He's about average dwarf size. He's pretty thick and sturdy. He has a nice layer of fat over him, but you can tell he's pretty muscular underneath. He has a very large infinity brand on the side of his face, and it goes through his beard. He has red hair and braided beard. Pretty scarred up. He carries with him a shield and a spiked weapon that he keeps close and at hand. He has a pretty gruff demeanor, but he does like and love to be around people.
Very good. All right. Thank you, gentlemen. So before we begin, we have some housekeeping from last session. We did not get to our order chaos track. At the end of every session, what you're supposed to do is check for corruption. And the way you do that is if you have no corruption, you gain 1 rank towards order. So I believe 3 of the 5 players had no corruption at all last session. Is that correct? I believe just Erg and Edmund had corruption. Is it?
I had 1.
Okay. So the people who didn't have any corruption, if you go on your character sheets and you go on the main page, you got your order ranks and your chaos ranks there between your order alignment and your chaos alignment. Go ahead and fill in the 1 spot on there because you got 1 rank towards your order. You had 1 Erg, and Edmund, did you only have 1 corruption as well?
Yeah, I got 1 corruption.
Okay, so the way it normally works is if you have less than 11 corruption, you roll a d10. If it exceeds your corruption, gain 1 rank towards order. Otherwise, gain 1 rank towards chaos. Well, you guys each have 1. So the roll, no matter what, is going to exceed. Is it not?
I can tie. What's because you could roll 1
versus 11 though. Didn't you say 11?
Versus 11. If you have less than 11, roll
impossible.
a d10. Go ahead and roll a d10. Let's see what happens.
All of us?
No, just the 2 that have corruption.
Okay.
Okay, so you guys are both fine, and you both gain an order or a level of order.
So what, does that put them at neutral?
No, so there's like that circle in the middle of between the 2 that says corruption, and that's where you fill in your corruption points for the session. So you guys can now wipe out that 1 corruption that you gained last session, and it starts over again this session. So they're not really neutral. Either way, you're either going to gain a level of order or a level of chaos. So they rolled under their number, they get a rank of order. But if they were particularly bad last session and they ranked up a whole bunch of chaos, they could have got a rank in that direction.
So is the way that the game laid out, like each session you're going to get a rank one way or the other?
Yes. Regardless, you're always going to go one of the 2 ways.
Okay, so like say I've got 1 order now. If I get 1 chaos next time, is that just add a tick to the chaos side, or does it remove 1 from order?
That is a good question. The way I read it, it will add to the opposite if that's what it falls into. But I could be wrong. Let me look into that. Or if there's people watching who know the answer, go ahead and throw it in the chat.
I was just curious.
But I think you can.
So you're constantly kind of bouncing back and forth in the middle, or it's like, no, you're going to gain a full, because when you get 10, you get some bonus, right?
Yes. So 10 to the good will give you a fate chip, which we know is like a get out of jail free card. Chaos, you gain a disorder, which could be like a tail, horns, something weird.
Yeah, I'm just curious if you could rank both of them up at the same time almost.
Well, it says once you get 1 full, you wipe out, you erase the alignment ranks.
Right, but I was just curious if it had that back and forth thing. So like if I'm at 7 order, and then I lose 2 rolls to chaos, am I now back at 5 order, or is it no? I'm still 7 order and 2 chaos.
Let me look into that further. That's a really good question. I don't know if we'll ever get there because we're just doing the short sessions, but no, that's a good question.
Right now.
Okay, Yeah, it's something for me to look into between sessions here. Make a note. Order and chaos. All right, next we have our fortune pool. So it is the number of players plus 1. So you get 6 fortune, and when you spend them, they become misfortune. And Ruby, if you want, you can make them all pretty for us and symmetrical and not just strewn about. Oh, I'm moving the map. There we go. There's your 6.
I think they're on the map there.
Oh, are they? I did that last time too, didn't I?
I can't touch them. And they're so sloppy.
They're so sloppy.
There we go.
The way that they're strewn about.
Yes.
Are you talking about my deck making?
Fix you up here.
Thank you. There we go. Let's make that all pretty. All right. Edmund is AFK momentarily.
That's
okay.
AFK for a minute, but I was waiting if we were rolling initiative or not.
No, we're going to do that a little bit later.
All right.
So, otherwise, we're going to pick up where we left off. Bear with me here. So, you guys were just investigating the slaughter that took place. So, from there, Andre recommends we should go back and tell Maximilian of what we've found.
Don't you want to secure your hemp? Oh, I'm sorry. Let me get in character here. Hey, don't you want to secure your hemp there?
This has been sitting here for, near as I could tell, maybe 2 days. I'm not too worried about this. It hasn't gone anywhere in this time.
Is it still good?
I would suppose so. It's covered.
How far are we from town?
We're about a half day's travel.
Why not take this back and secure it and follow these tracks and see who did this?
I suppose we could hook the horses up to the wagons, but there's traps strewn about. I don't want to risk me horses or get the wagon stuck.
Well, do you plan on ever recovering this hemp?
Well, I think we should go back to Vorburg and get the local militia together, and we come back and we get this hemp.
How far back is it to the where he wants to go?
Half day's travel back. You guys are halfway point.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, she shrugs. It's your, she says, it's your hemp.
It's not mine. It's Maximilian's.
I thought he was.
Maximilian hung back. He stayed back with the women and the 2 other mercenaries.
Oh, did he not come on the trip at all?
He did, but you guys went ahead. Remember, you and Andre are scouting.
Right. Okay. I thought everybody came up though.
Nope, just Andre and the player characters.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, we'll go back. I mean, they're only Max is only a little bit down the road, right?
Yeah, they're back behind you. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. I thought he wanted to go back to the town.
No, he wants to continue on.
Okay. Yeah, we'll go back to Max.
Okay. So you guys head back, and Max pokes his head out of the wagon, out of the coach. He's in there with his bride and the maid of honor, Bibi. And you can tell Maximilian, he's eager to know what's going on. You know, what happened. So Andre rides on over, and he calls Maximilian out, and they start talking in hushed whisper tones. And while they're doing so, the door swings open, and the maid of honor starts going, "What's going on? What's taking so long? This isn't safe. Why are we stopped?" And she starts shouting. One of the mercenaries rides over and kind of tries to calm her down and get her back into the cabin. And as he's doing that, you can see Andre turns around and waves the five of you over to talk to him and Maximilian. And Andre asks the five of you to relay what you saw, because you guys investigated the scene and you guys uncovered some clues while you were there, and he asks you to please relay this to Maximilian. Do you guys remember the details? Kind of. Stuff about the mutants, the mutant fashioned arrows, the tracks leading back to Vorburg. There was traps on the road that stopped the horses. It looks like the wagon set out 2 days ago, and they're only halfway to their destination. So this must have happened like fresh, when they were fresh on the road. It's a massacre.
It looks like an ambush.
Yeah, nothing's missing. None of the goods are missing. And with that, Maximilian asks, "Was Heinrich's body there? My man that I sent to escort the goods?" And
No.
Yeah, Andre hangs his head and shakes it as well, and confirms that Heinrich's body was not present in the massacre. It was actually missing, along with his son's body. Was also not present.
Something must have drug him off.
Why don't you guys go ahead and make me a standard scrutinize test when you reveal whether or not Heinrich's body was present. Oh,
Nice.
Critical failure.
Nice. Can only read people in the
Oh,
pit.
2 critical failures.
Wow.
See, my rolling's going to say the same.
All right. Our resident dunderhead picks up on something that nobody else does. You can see that he breathed a sigh of relief when he found out Heinrich's body was not present. But Erg, you pick up you're a little skeptical. And he's like, sigh of relief, and then he's relieved that it wasn't present. And then you're kind of skeptical. You're like, he doesn't really seem genuine in his delivery there. He's kind of indifferent to Heinrich not being found.
The stars aren't quite aligned right here, guys. I'm at a loss of words. I'm not sure what's going on.
All right. So Erg is kind of confused by by what he's witnessed.
I have a weird look on my face, and you have no idea what I'm talking about.
So with that, Maximilian urges. He goes, "We must head back to Vorburg. We must go there, or not back. Forge on to Vorburg. We can't afford to go back, and I don't want to lose face with me father-in-law, my new father-in-law. So we should head back. We should head back, and let's gather some men in a convoy to get the Emp back to Vorburg."
Agreed. You paying us.
All right. So he gets back into the coach with the ladies, and he draws the blinds, and you guys can kind of overhear from inside that he's calming the women down, and they're the maid of honor specifically is demanding to know what's going on, and he mentioned there's a long dead horse up ahead on the road, and he doesn't want them to wants to spare them of the sight of it. So he's drawing the curtains, and that's all it was. It's just a minor disturbance, nothing to be worried about. Just don't look, because it's a horrible sight.
It's actually a pretty good excuse.
So you guys continue on. for a few more hours. And with that, you get your first glimpse of Vorburg up ahead. The first sight of Vorburg is striking. Rounding the top of a wooded hill, not a wooden hill. Rounding the top of a wooded hill, you look down on a village nestled amongst fields and surrounded by a timber palisade. Behind it, the local mountain, more like a large hill, but the locals call it a mountain. The latter is unusual because it juts out quite suddenly from the ground, and although its sides are forested like the other hills, the tree line ends below the summit, which is topped with a ridge and two rocky peaks. Ruby, you're riding along with Andre, and he points out to you that the resemblance between the twin peaks was once used to sell the hill as a pilgrimage site for the god emperor, but it never caught on. Most people know the mountain as the Horned Monk because the tree line with the bare top looks like a monk's tonsure.
All right.
So you guys travel on for about another hour, and you get closer and closer. After a while, you come out of the woods and you enter into some fields that are maintained with crop. Go ahead and make me some routine survival checks, everybody. Let's get those high doubles out of the way now, right? When it doesn't really matter. Survival. Well, Edmund.
Oh, it just failed.
Critical success.
Who got a critical success? Oh, Elric. Elric and Edmund also succeeded. So, with that, you guys can tell that it's harvest season, and people normally work as long as possible, but now it's dusk, and people are packing in and heading in for the night. You guys, soon, you make your way to the gates of the palisades, and with that, Andre approaches the gates and identifies himself. I'm Andre. I'm here with Maximilian. We're back. Open the gates. We have news to report. From inside, you can hear an exclamation, "Thank the God Emperor! Maximilian made it through!" And the gates slowly start to part and open. With that, some people start to make their way over to the wagons and to your group. One man in particular, he's about a middle-aged man. He's wearing an apron. He's wiping his hands on it. Kind of a dopey-looking fellow. He heads on over and greets Maximilian. He also looks you over. Here, let me find do I have a picture of this guy? There you go. There's that guy. And with that, Maximilian leaves with him and takes off. He just, all of a sudden, the two of them start chatting, and they just take off. With that, you can hear the maid of honor, BB, start protesting. She barges out of the carriage. Why aren't we being left behind? Why do you forget your new bride here? What is the meaning of this? You're a horrible husband. And she's just all up in arms. And she makes her way over to the group of you and go, what do you think about this? What kind of husband is this?
Seems human to me.
Ruby doesn't react. She just hangs out with the mercenary.
She might be
I
human.
blow snot on my nose.
He's not much of a man, is he?
He ain't no dwarf.
It's not saying much, she says under her breath.
This is why I'm not married.
He spits on the ground.
Oh, around. All right. Well, she goes back to Helena, the bride's side, and the two of them are standing next to the carriage now. And Helena looks awfully upset. Her eyes are darting around the village. This is her first time being here. She's just been married off to what you guys have seems or uncovered to be a loveless marriage. More of a business transaction.
Are we outside Maximilian's house or?
There are houses here. You didn't see where he went off to. He was taken down between some houses. You're still like at the front gates. You're just inside the palisades.
Hmm.
So you guys are just kind of waiting around. You've got the nervous bride. You've got the shouting bridesmaid there with you.
Who was the person that seemed good at tracking?
Like one of you?
Well, there were some people that had found we were following kind of tracks, weren't we, of the aberrants this way?
You discussed it, but I don't know if you actually. They just broke off in this direction into the woods, and it was recommended that you guys head back to Vorburg after discovering this.
Oh. Okay.
All right, so you guys are just kind of staying around. You're sticking out like a sore thumb. You're definitely out of place here. The local militia are kind of like watching you. They've got their hands on their weapons, and they just inching closer and closer, and just keeping a close eye on the group of you. You are an unusual group of travelers, and there has been trouble here recently, so you could hopefully understand their hesitation. But after a while, Maximilian comes back to the area, and accompanying him is a young man in his 20s. He's a rather good-looking fellow. Let's see, do I have a picture here of him? There you go. This guy. And he's talking away with Maximilian. And the two of them come back over to you. And Maximilian introduces him as Waldman, his son, from his previous marriage, which I believe one of you were aware of. Was it Barsh? Did he reveal that to Barsh while the two of you were traveling on the road, that he had previously been married?
He was trying to bond with Barsh, but Barsh wasn't having it.
Right. Yeah, he was very chatty. He goes, "Oh, this is my son Waldman. He was in charge of security here in Vorburg while I was away in Swansea, getting married to Helena. He has some news that he wants to relay, but he doesn't want to do it here. Please, will you accompany us outside the gates? You too, Andre. Please. We have some information that he needs to relay."
Okay, well, Ruby follow him.
So Ruby, you follow
outside the
gates. 3 men. Yep. Everybody else going in tow?
Yeah, I am. Barsh.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys go outside the gates, and he goes, I have something to show you. I don't want to talk about it. It's been seen by some. It's a bad omen. Everybody is scared by this. We did not want to upset my father's new bride. Please come with me. And he leads you out into the fields, and he takes you to an area where there's some scarecrows set up, and strung up on two of the scarecrow posts are the bodies of Heinrich and his son Dieter.
Whoa! How long these been here?
He says, they've been here for about a day now. They were discovered by the workers, the foreigners, and people have just avoided the area. They see it as a bad omen. They're worried that the orcs are back, and nobody would go.
Why didn't you have them cut down?
The local militia. They're just locals. They don't want to get tied up in this. They're just as afraid as everyone else. So we need true warriors. And with Andre away, we really didn't have the men with the spines to do this.
might be a little bit worse than a bad omen. That strikes me as an outright threat.
Yeah, you're not wrong, he says.
Can we tell how they were killed?
They were stabbed multiple times. There's arrow wounds on them. If you want to go investigate them, that's fine. There's arrow wounds all over them, and then they were also just like mutilated.
Were the bodies dragged here or carried? Can we tell?
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and make me a check? Let me see here. What would be the most fitting? Still learning all of these various things.
Maybe awareness or survival or scrutinize?
Go ahead and make a scrutinize, and you can do it at a standard difficulty.
Okay.
Yeah, Ruby, you can see. You start looking through the fields and the dirt, and you can see that they were dragged here. It looks like they were brought here dead and strung up. And the tracks do come from the direction of the road that you traveled on.
And then do they head off a particular direction?
They do. They do actually. They head off towards the peak, the Monk's Peak or whatever it was called there. The Horned Monk.
So we know that the shipment was intercepted like a day ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the tracks are probably at least a day old then.
Yep. You can ascertain that.
She points out. She points toward the peaks and says they went that way. Any sense of number?
They're pretty muddled, the tracks. So there was, you can tell there was at least 3.
Okay. Does that line up with what was observed around the ambush site?
It's hard to tell at the ambush site because people were, but the horses were traps were used on them. There's traps buried in the mud, and it looks like there was a rain of arrows. So you did find tracks like on the sides of the road, but again, it was hard to tell the numbers because they did use the brush to disguise and hide themselves.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do we know much about what are these people called again? The Ravagers, or what are they called?
Mutants or orcs?
Oh, they're orcs. Okay. Do they typically? Does this seem like a normal behavior for them? Do we know much about them?
Yes.
This seems very, very targeted, right? They took out one specific thing. They didn't steal the product, and then they dragged these 2 back and hung them up, and then they left.
Like they're sending a message.
Oh, or like, I mean, this looks to me more like a job than a random act of violence. What Ruby will say is, she'll say, "Does anyone else think this is kind of odd behavior for the orcs?"
Yeah. Well, I don't know why they would risk coming back here to hang these men up.
Yeah. Ruby will look over to Max and say, "Did you ever have any dealings with these people?"
He's kind of taken aback, and no, why would we have dealings with the mutants, with the orcs? There was trouble years ago, but we don't see them too often anymore.
They seem kind of mad at you.
I don't know what it is. You know how they are. They pop up from time to time, cause trouble, raid, pillage. I don't know why they're targeting us now.
Would there be anybody that would stand to gain or have something against your marriage?
I'm sure there was many suitors who would have liked Helena's hand. but I don't know anybody in
Anybody-
particular.
Anybody that would stood to lose out financially, or was there something more at stake than her hand?
Well, you are aware of the business transaction with her father.
Her father, and this is out of character, but her father, I know what he got out of it. What was Max getting out of it?
I don't know if that was ever revealed.
Ruby will ask and say, "Well, I know you were offering a fortune in hemp for dowry, and clearly your bride is a prize in and of herself. But was there anything else at stake? Any value to the political alliance, perhaps?"
Let's do. Why don't you roll me a charm
Okay, that I can do.
at a standard charm check? Let's do that.
Can I Benny that one?
Yeah, you sure can. Give me a
Alright.
misfortune.
Do I do something with the Benny, or
I'll just flip it.
anybody? Is anyone able to help me?
Anybody want to give him a hand? You have to take.
I can try.
You take their tens die and you replace it with yours.
Which
How
skill
are
is
you?
this?
What are you going to say to help Ruby?
So you're trying to get his bargain into the bargain, right?
Yeah, and what Ruby's trying to find out is she's trying to get at the motive of this, which she thinks if someone wanted to stop the marriage by intercepting the dowry, then that person must have had a motive. So she wants to know what it is that Max is getting out of this besides her hand. So, you could, what would you say to help?
Can more than one person do a help action?
I believe it's only one
I
because you're
just
taking
came back. I can intimidate.
the
Maybe.
tens die. Let me just see here.
There might be conflicting signals there.
Assisting another character requires you have at least one rank in the skill to be tested. Lend an assist die to the player who makes the test. Only one assist die can be gained. Yeah, so it's just one person can jump in.
But you've got to be basically trained in that skill.
Yeah.
So Ruby's smiling and looking to him with bright eyes and saying, "Well, surely something besides her, her hand would be a reward enough. But was there anything else by chance?"
I would probably go along the lines of something like, surely you're trying to outdo someone. Someone you want to get ahead of.
All right, here's the roll.
All right.
I get to add a bonus to mine because he's what class is he?
Oh, like social class.
Yeah.
One moment, please. I do have that.
Yep.
Where are you? Maximilian. He is a burger.
Oh, okay. So I'm also a burger, so I don't get a bonus.
He's a burger.
He is a burger. Cheeseburger.
Okay.
Can you help me with my
I'm a
10
burger.
then? Because my 10 was a 6, and 6 is not good. enough.
So what's our base rolls?
Go ahead and just roll a d10.
If you're trained in
okay.
it.
So it's a 6 regardless. Right? Oh,
Well,
nope,
you're-
it's covered up. A 1. Oh, he turns into an 18. Or an
No,
11.
An 11.
A critical
a double.
success. All right. So you're wanting to know, go ahead and ask the question again, because this is going to change the answer. What you were
Okay, so
asking.
she says to him, well, I know that you've won her hand in marriage, and she is quite a prize as a bride herself. But surely there was something else that you gained from this marriage, something political, perhaps.
He looks over at his son and he looks over at Andre and he takes you aside and he goes, "No, listen, it's not financial. Or not political. It's financial. I'm not in the
Ruby
best
nods.
financial shape right now, and I need this arrangement between the two families."
But how does her father help you financially?
I'm on the verge of financial collapse, and he also is a hemp farmer. And between our two families, we're supposed to amalgamate and grow the empire in this region.
Did you perhaps agree to raise prices together?
We didn't get into the particulars at this point, but that was the reasoning behind the marriage. I'm a much older man than my bride. You can see that. It wasn't this wasn't out of love. This was out of necessity.
Are there who would stand to lose out the most if the two of you combined your hemp operations?
He thinks for a moment and, well, the next town over, I suppose the hemp farmer over there, Deckard Wellington would be the most to lose out, I suppose.
Okay. She just kind of nods and shrugs. All right.
But please do not. This isn't common knowledge that I'm financially unstable. Please do not pass this around.
She nods and smiles with a wink and says, "No worries, though. We'll be needing our wages in advance." With a rueful smile.
Maybe he can trade some of the hemp.
Yes, I can pay your wages. It'll be arranged. Don't worry.
Okay. I don't. She'll when she gets back to the others, then she'll relay that the deepest intrigue she can see is that they're trying to corner the hemp market, but unless another hemp trader had managed to stage a orc attack, she can't fathom it from that angle.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Seems unlikely.
All right. So Andre and Waldman help cut down the bodies, and they cover them up in cloth and wrap them up and tie rope around them so that the others are spared of the gruesome scene when they bring them in. And as you guys are doing so, Waldman expresses his grief for Heinrich and Dieter, the two dead, and along with Enid, the wife of Heinrich and the mother of Dieter. He goes, "Oh, it's such a shame. A husband and a son taken at the same time. I can't imagine what Enid is going through. This senseless, brutal mutant attack." We should let's keep the details to ourselves and to the few laborers. They can spread rumors, but let's not confirm anything, all right? He says to his father and the others. As he's saying these and talking about the tragedy of losing a father and a son all at once during the mutant attack, why don't you guys go ahead and make me a standard awareness test, all of you? Jeez.
Oh man, my rolls.
Guess we're rolling high tonight. Except for Edmund. Why is Elric's? Oh, there's Elric's. Yay. So, everyone with the exception of Ruby and Barsh? You guys notice as he's saying this and grieving?
Looks like I passed.
Oh, Barsh. I said Barsh and Ruby. You're good. 37. He's fondling and fiddling around with a talisman around his neck. Here, let me describe it. It's made of copper and silver wire intertwined to form a circle, or sorry, to form a crude figure that's hanging around his neck. Does anybody, and I'm looking at you, Erg, do you have arcane or divine magic as a function of your profession?
Do I have what?
Arcane or divine magic? What kind of magic is it that you have?
Arcane, not divine.
Okay, go ahead and make me a challenging incantation test.
Which test is that?
Incantation. Hey, welcome to the people who are watching us. Thanks for dropping in. We've got a whole slew of people that have jumped in since I last left.
Hello, people.
Oh! Would you like to fortune that?
Listen to the way he asked.
Yeah, right? Would you like to spend
What do you think, guys? Should I re-roll that?
Yes.
I don't think there's anybody who can
If-
assist you, is there? Nobody else has magic.
Yeah, it's probably important. I would do.
Oh, dear Lord.
Worse.
All right. Thank you, sir. I will take that. All right. So the three of you notice that he's fondling this crudely made talisman figure around his neck as he says these things. And with that, they pack up the bodies and they start to carry them back. They go, who will help us carry the bodies? And Andre puts up his hand and picks up the shoulders of one of the bodies, and Waldman picks up the feet of it, and two others carry poor Dita back in for us, please.
I'll help carry.
All right, Elric. Anybody else going to help carry
I can help carry.
Okay.
Yeah,
Erg.
I can probably carry.
All right, so you guys bring
Makes
the
sense for
bodies in.
Erg too.
Sure, you guys bring them back into the palisade walls, and when you do so, they're brought to the local the village shrine of the God Emperor, and outside, and Waldman says, "Let's just leave them out back here, and we'll talk to the father, and they'll be taken care of." And he rests the bodies down next to the shrine of the God Emperor. And with that strange looking man, that kind of funny looking man that you saw when you first entered, where is he here? Comes on over, waddles on over, and Maximilian introduces him to the group. He goes, "This is my friend Orst. He runs the local tavern here, and I've arranged for accommodations there for you for the night. He will look after him, and his wife will look after you. They run the Cowardly Orcs. His wife Lizette will make sure that you're well fed, and you'll have a good night rest there."
Will we have drink?
Horst looks over at Maximilian, kind of like questioning that, and Maximilian shakes his head, waves his hand. Yes, there will be drink on me.
You laugh. Hope you have deep pockets.
He gives like a half smile at that, and
Yeah, I wink at him because I know his situation.
he goes, please, Maximilian says, it is imperative that none of the information get out about the attack and what we saw on the road. We'll arrange some men when the time is right, and we'll get the goods back, but I don't want any talk of the mutant involvement whatsoever. Can I trust you?
course, you're paying us, aren't you?
Yes, yes. So if it's brought up, if people ask you what happened and what happened to poor Dieter and Heinrich, please tell them it was human bandits. I know no talk of mutants.
All right.
Okay. And with that, him and Waldman and Horst and Andre, they go, we're gonna take our leave. If you head on right down this road here, you'll find the cowardly orcs, and you can go there and meet Horst's wife, and she will arrange a meal for you. And feel free, if you want, to wander the village. And tomorrow morning we can discuss what we will do about the situation.
Perfect. After carrying that rotting meat, I'm starving.
Yeah, I'm assuming it was kind of fresh too, so I'm assuming we have like blood and stuff.
So Vorburg it's a fairly ordinary village inside the palisade. There's 4 significant buildings alongside the usual cottages. So there's houses and cottages spread about, but there's 4 things that stick out. And that is the Cowardly Orcs, which is the local tavern. The Shrine of the God Emperor, where you are at now. There's the Steger House, which is Maximilian's house, which is the largest house in this whole village. Very grandiose. And then there's the large laborers' quarters, where typically where foreigners are housed who work the fields. So, what would you like to do? What would you, the group of you, like to get up to? It's about 5 o'clock in the evening.
I'll go down to the bar.
Head to the Cowardly Orcs.
Yeah,
It's time to eat for me.
time to eat and drink.
Yeah, Ruby's heading to the bar as well.
I'm always
Alright.
good for some food.
All right, you guys, you were given directions on how to head there, so you head on through the village, and it's a pretty down and morose vibe in the village right now. Morale is 100% taking a hit here. As you walk through the streets, people look at you. They try not to make eye contact when you look back at them. You're looked up and down. You can sense there's a militiaman watching you, following you at a distance, keeping close eye on your every move. Despite
I
having
am waving and smiling at everybody.
All right. Despite having Maximilian's endorsement. And the people are very very leery of you. Very untrusting. Oh, we got a new follower. Thanks so much. We got Yona Jake. Hey, I know Yona Jake. Thanks, Yona, for following. Appreciate it. So you guys make your way to the Cowardly Orcs. It's your standard inn. There's nothing out of the ordinary on it or about it. You guys head inside, and you can see a woman behind the bar, serving drinks and chatting with men who are seated at the bar. There are men seated all around. There's quite a bit of patrons in here. It's all males, from what you can see, and you can also you see there's a young man who's also puttering around the bar and serving drinks to folks.
Okay. I walk up to him. What's the strongest ale you got?
To the young man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's actually taken aback by you at first, and I've never seen a dwarf before, and when he speaks, when you get a good look at him, you can tell he's a little slow. He's a little he's not all there, and he's intimidated by the sight of you.
I spin around and grab my big belly and say, "Take it all in, all dwarf."
You're the first dwarf I've ever met.
I'm a fine specimen.
He scuttles off behind the bar, and you see him approach the woman back there and exchange. And she looks over at you, and her eyes open up, and she goes, "Oh yes, we've been expecting you. You must be the ones that traveled with Maximilian. Please come here." And she waves you over to the bar. What can I get all of you?
Meat, please.
Okay, we have some mutton cooking. I could get that for you. You're rather large, and she's kind of taken back by you.
Yeah, lots of meat and some taters.
We going for round 2 here, Edmund?
I'm game.
Food's not free tonight, lads, is it?
It is.
Oh, well then, by all means.
Of course, I think we got to pay for this one, so we might want to take it easy.
Is there enough mutton for the both of you?
She looks the two of them
I guess
over.
we'll find out.
She goes, well, there's quite a bit, but you fellas look like you could pack back quite a bit. I'll tell you what. She turns to the boy. She goes, Klaus, please start getting some food for our guests here. These are the ones that accompany Maximilian. And he's, oh, okay. And he turns around and heads back to the kitchen to start getting some food for the group of you. She goes, "Can I get you a drink?"
Sure.
Of course.
All right, and she all pours you some ale. She goes, "This is locally made ale. We're very proud of it," and gives you all a mug of it.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's tasty. You
All right.
you can tell that it's made by a skilled brewer. There is
It's weak.
a nice taste. It's weak for a dwarf. It's probably a little weak for an ogre, also, Erd. And with that, while you're being served your drinks, Horst comes back in and he greets you. He goes, "Oh, welcome you. You found your way here. I appreciate it. And looks like my wife is looking after you. If there's anything I can do while you're here, please let me know." And he goes back behind the bar and wipes his hands again on his apron and starts talking to patrons at the bar. His wife's still there. She goes, "So, is there anything I can help you with while you're here? Do you have any questions or anything?" Or
Yeah, what's the news? What's going on in town?
well, there's that horrible news of the wagon attack. She says with a hushed voice.
Well, we don't know anything about that. Why don't you enlighten us?
She goes, "Well, I don't know too much. My husband, he says it's bandits. Like Betty, she also says that as well. Maximilian's sister. She says the bandits. They attacked them. Just filthy bandits. So are the workers are saying that as well. But I keep saying it doesn't matter anyway. Horst, Maximilian, and the rest of the men will sort these people out. It's such a shame about poor little Dieter, though. Poor lad. And Enid, I can't imagine what she's going through."
The names of a bunch of people we don't know is really helping.
You hadn't heard of Betty, but Dieter was the boy that was strung up by the scarecrow, and Enid was mentioned as his mother.
She's whispering this, right?
Yeah, she's saying this like hushed under her breath to all of you.
Guys, I'm going to keep saying stupid stuff if you let me.
Go ahead and make me a check. I want you guys to make me a routine awareness check. And this is based off what you've seen in town while you've been here on your way to the inn, and now that you're in the inn. I want you to make me a routine awareness check.
Could I roll rumor?
No.
Is this all of us on the check?
Yeah, all of you.
Gee.
Never mind.
You're killing it with the rolls tonight, Erg. Except for the one where you're like, you needed to discern what that talisman, information about the talisman.
My
I
two
don't know.
worst rolls of the night, both on that.
So Edmund, Erg, Elric, and Ruby, you look at Lizette here, and you saw some other women folk around town as you made your way here, and it's really obvious there are very few older women here. They're all like 30 and younger, which sticks out as odd to you.
That is old and grim dark. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's true.
There's older men, like Maximilian himself is middle-aged. There's older men than that you saw wandering town, but all the women seem to be younger.
How old is the barmaid that's here?
Now let me tell you. She looks like she's probably in her mid-20s.
And
Whereas
how
her
old is
husband is probably well into his 40s.
and he has a son, right?
You don't know if that boy is their son or not. Klaus? The simple boy?
Is what's her name?
Her name is it was Lizette.
All right. Well, Ruby will as Ruby's sipping her ale, she'll in a conversational and charming fashion chat up the Lizette and say, is this what was the guy's name again? Her husband?
Horst.
Is this Horse's boy?
She goes, no, this is Klaus. We took him in. He was abandoned by his parents years ago, and my husband and I we've taken him in.
Oh, that's nice of you. Do you all have children of your own as well?
No, we don't have any children.
Oh.
And
Have we? Did we see any kids coming into town?
there are kids. Yes, there are children. They all seem to be. Actually, go ahead and make me another check. Make me an awareness check of the children you did see. Look at you, Erg, just killing it. Erg, who's a dunderhead, is picking up on everything.
Right?
Well, he's
Can't
got
express any of it.
He's got a 50 in awareness, so he's.
Was that just him or all of us again?
Everybody.
Oh,
This is just another general one as you're passing through town. Another
So routine.
Oh, wow,
But difficulty?
Edmund.
Boom.
Yeah, just routine. So, with the exception of Barsh? Oh no.
wow.
Yeah, with the exception of
I
Barsh
don't think I passed one
and
test.
Elric.
Critical failure.
You all picked up though that the children they seem to be like around 10, 11 and younger. You didn't see any like teenagers really around town either.
It's like they've been raided in the past.
So her name's Lizette?
Yes.
So Lizette, how many more years before you disappear like the rest of the old ladies around here?
Oh,
The old ladies. Ah.
That charm.
Oh man. She shakes her head. Oh, you're hilarious. She goes, she looks at the others when Erg says this, like the rest of you. She goes, What is it? What's wrong with him?
He's direct.
She goes, it's a horrible story. Horrible story.
Well, it is pretty obvious to us all that women of a certain age don't exist. The children are all very young.
She goes, well, it's about 12 years ago. mutants came and raided the village and took the women and children and slaughtered. They killed them.
And left the menfolk?
The men, they left to go get reinforcements from the local army.
All of them?
Well, Pastor Wilhelm and a number of the men went to go help. But well, Max stayed behind with my husband, and they had an idea. They got an idea of bluffing the orcs' big boss, about help coming. They told him that reinforcements were on their way before the pastor had even come back, and it seemed to work. He took off. The mutants, they ran for their very lives. That's where the name of this inn came from. The pastor came back with some troops and went to collect all the women, but they were gone. The orcs had made off with all the women and children.
And Max didn't see that happening?
Well, they thought maybe the women would be spared and left behind, knowing that the army was coming, that there was troops on the way. Sadly, it didn't play out that way.
So Max was the only man left in town besides
Max and my husband were here with a few others.
all men, and all the men survived. All the women and children were gone.
Sadly, yes.
And you think that what happened was, and this is Ruby now, kind of incredulously talking to her, saying, and you think that what happened was, under their very noses, the women and children were taken, and they didn't notice that.
I don't know. This has all been told to me secondhand by my husband, who experienced it himself. He lived this horrible situation.
Okay, Ruby is she's gonna scrutinize to see if this woman is really that naive,
Sure.
or if she's just kind of going along with. Because at this point, Ruby
Yeah.
figures that it's probably obvious to everyone else that these cowards handed the women and children over in exchange for their lives in the town. But
Go ahead and make a routine scrutinize.
yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, it seems like she's spewing what's been fed to her. She's a little naive.
Okay.
She's not from this village. It seems like the way when she speaks of her husband and she speaks of Maximilian, when she mentions the name even of the Pastor Wilhelm, there's like pride. Like, these men are heroes for what they did.
Oh,
In her voice.
And how many years ago was this?
It's 12 years ago.
How many? Rubio, just continue if she's doesn't shut down and ask, how many attacks have there been since then?
None. The troops showed up, and the brave men of this village, they scared the orc big boss away.
oh yeah.
Brave Sir Wilhelm.
Ruby's got to tap her chin and say, it's funny. Maximilian said he'd never had any dealing with these orcs before.
Oh, really? Well, perhaps he didn't want to reveal the horrible thing that took place so long ago. He lost a wife and a baby daughter in the attack. I'm sure it still pains him to this day. He still has Waldman, his son, but he lost the two of them.
She said it was 10 years ago?
12 years ago.
12, okay.
Was that a bad year?
Yeah, it was a bad year for women and children in Forberg.
Yeah, and all the new kids are of that age, or 10 years, because it took about that long for the kids to get going again.
Yep.
Makes sense. So, all the men of the town have since married new wives and started having new families.
Is Ruby asking this?
Yeah.
She nods. Yes, yes. Many of them have taken on new brides.
Huh. All right. Well, she'll sip her ale, look to the others.
The plot thickens. What? Anything else you want to ask of her? She's standing there, and
I don't.
if that's if you don't have anything to ask, then I need to serve those men over there. And she points to a group of laborers that have recently come in and taken a table.
Okay.
I'm curious if there's any older men who aren't heroes who, weren't a part of the actions, who are bitter about it.
Yeah.
We haven't seen any, right? Any men are about that right age?
So
The only ones we've met are the two who
Oh,
were
riding with
here,
us.
and then the minister who was out getting reinforcements.
yeah, you hadn't met the pastor yet. Yeah, you've met two of the three that she talked about. Speaking of which, Horst comes over with plates in his arms. And here's your food, fellas. Eat up.
Yeah, Horst.
Yeah,
Horst,
yeah.
hey, come join us. Would love to show some ale with you.
Oh, he looks around the room. He goes, "It's quite a busy night there, fellas. I don't know if I can be peeled away for a drink right now."
Come on, you can manage it. And she'll give him a wink and apply her charm.
All right, you're gonna charm him into having a drink with you. Go ahead and do it at.
It's done.
Standard.
Yep.
Okay. He goes. He looks around and he has a sly grin. He goes, I could get away with one." And he grabs himself an ale and just leans on the bar on the other side of the bar and sipping away. So I understand it was a horrible journey. Yeah, sorry to hear that.
Yeah. What do you make of these orcs attacking again?
He kind of is taken aback and he goes, "Orcs? I think it's bandits, probably trying to snatch what they can and scare us into giving up more. It won't work. We've survived worse, much worse." And he trails off, and you see him kind of stare away.
Well,
Hey.
now he wasn't with us, I guess, at all. But he was there when we took down the bodies, right?
He wasn't there, so he approached the carriage when you guys came in. He left with Maximilian, came back with Maximilian and Waldman, his son, but did not accompany you guys into the fields. And then approached you again once you came back with the bodies wrapped up.
So you didn't get a look at the bodies then?
Oh, he turns his head in disgust. No. I don't want to see that. I've seen many things in my time, horrible things. I don't need to see any more. Things to haunt my dreams and nightmares.
It was pretty sure it was orcs. You can tell by the types of weapons they used.
Are you trying a skill here? You're just like really pushing him.
I'm just trying to rattle him because.
Yeah. Go ahead and make a
Guile?
Scrutinize.
Okay.
And do it at a standard.
Okay. No. But what about anybody else that's with us? We're all sitting around.
Did you roll it?
Thought I did. Scrutinize, yeah. 68.
Oh, I don't see it on mine for whatever reason.
Oh, well, let me do it again here.
I see it there.
I might have to just reload my roll 20.
Oh, okay. But can everybody scrutinize?
Hold on. All right. Oh yeah, I see 68 there. All right. So, so you didn't. I think everybody scrutinizes a skill that everybody can do,
Yeah.
It's a base skill.
but you did fail it. So to
Yeah.
ask to re-roll it or to get assistance now would mean
No. I'm just saying, could anybody else notice what? Because Ruby's not done. She's just trying to get him. She's leading him to another discussion point here, which is you were here when the orcs attacked 12 years ago, right?
he leans in. He goes, yes, oh, yeah, yes, that's horrible story. Where did you hear about that?
You hear these kinds of things. You worried that they're maybe coming back again?
I hope not. We drove them off. 12 years ago, the mutants came and we thought we had it all. I was a younger man, and I wanted to fight it out.
Them? You fought them then?
I wanted to fight it out. Well, Heinrich said we had to hide. The women folk first. I said it was too much of a risk, but Max agreed, and his first wife, Joanna, and you see him. Oh, bless her. Led them up the hill, the old road, to a cave on top of the horned monk. The road was overgrown and impossible to find, so he reckoned the mutants would never find them, and they'd survive. Even if we were overrun, us the men, while we stood our ground. Pastor William, he went for help. We didn't know whether we were going to get through it, but we fought. We fought as long as we could. I myself killed 20 of them. 20 of those filthy orcs. Finally, Max had the idea of bluffing them, the big boss, about help coming. And what do you know? The old dog did it. The mutants, they ran for their very lives, and that's why my inn is named what it's named. Pastor Wilhelm got back the next day with some troops. What's that?
You just said mutants before we talking about orcs.
Mutants, orcs, same thing. No difference. He spits on the ground. So they are referred to as orcs, mutants, and such.
Okay.
It's like a mixed term that's used. Pastor Wilhelm got back the next day with some troops, and Will went to collect our women, but they were gone. They were gone. Max lost his wife, his baby girl.
What's this guy's name again?
Was
Horst, that's right. Good, I'm sorry.
Was Maximilian alone when the negotiations with the bluff?
That's exactly what I was going to ask.
No, I was there, and Heinrich.
Alas, Heinrich. Was there any other men in town?
Aye, there were others. There were others here.
But none of them were at the negotiation.
No. Max, he's a fine man. He took it upon himself, and he had the courage to stand up to them and face them and lie to the faces. It was certain death if he failed.
But he is a merchant, isn't he? He's good with his words.
Horst thinks about it. Yes, I suppose he is.
Most men of trade are good salesmen, yes?
Yes.
So if you have something to sell, like, a convincing story, then that sort of thing is possible, I suppose.
He nods, I suppose.
Still, quite a feat, really, if you think about it.
Aye, it is. Could you
Turning
imagine?
away a whole horde of these mutants.
Aye, it was certain death. That's why it's so miraculous. Max, he's a good man.
Ruby will look to the others.
shrugs.
Spit.
So, Ruby asks, "Hey, these caves, are they nearby?"
They're up the Horned Monk. It's about a day's travel from here.
What did you guys find when you got there?
The cave was bashed open, blood everywhere, signs of a struggle, and the women and children gone.
Who went to investigate the cave?
All the men folk. When we were victorious, we all marched up there.
Ah. And just out of character, we know that these mutants come from the mountains. How, on a relatively speaking, how close is this cave to their exit route?
Like, what do you mean?
Like, are the mountains or the mountains that the orcs come from in the opposite direction of the caves that the women were hiding in, or are they kind of on the way back to the mountains? Like, would the orcs have had to go out of their way?
The cave was at the top of the Horned Monk, that like bald peaked mountain nearby. And they would have they would have gone in that direction. Yeah, they would have come, like, they wouldn't have climbed over the mountain, but they would have gone around it. Yeah.
So, okay. So it was on their way back.
Mm.
So when the orc horde fled after the bluff, they fled right in the direction of the women and children.
He shrugs. I suppose.
That must have been tough, seeing them heading right to where you knew your
he goes, but
children were.
They were so well hidden. There was no way they could have found them. It was impossible to find. He goes, with that, you can tell he's starting to get agitated with all these questions about the incident, we'll call it, that took place 12 years ago. And he goes, I'm done my drink. I appreciate your time. If you don't have any further questions for me, I've got patrons to serve.
Cheers.
Thanks for the food.
Thanks for sharing a cup with us.
He kind of looks back and then goes to serve some others.
What do you all think? You buying the story?
I think Maximilian's broke because he paid off some orcs.
So why are they back? That's the question.
Yeah.
Because he paid him with women and children. If
Either one of those people remember, or one of the town folks held a grudge against what happened, or figured it out.
They figured it out, yeah.
Well, either way, that sounded like a pile of crap. I'm going to go warm my hands by the fire and listen to some rumors going on in here.
Sound like a pile of crap. Did you probably really said that, right, Erg?
Absolutely.
I wouldn't expect any less. All right. There's a lot of laborers in here milling around, and you make your way over to like the hearth, the fire, and you hear people chatting away.
I look like I'm warming my hands, but I'm just listening into conversations.
Okay, why don't you go ahead and make a check here just to pick up on the general chatter, because there's quite a few people in here, and there's a murmur about the room, and you're trying to pick up on certain things. Go ahead and make an eavesdrop test. A standard one.
Does anyone come with me to the fire?
I'm still drinking.
Yeah, I'm still working on eating.
It's all right.
Ruby will go with you.
You got it. So you and Ruby, the halfling and the ogre, the Fairweather friends.
Well, we supposedly have kinship, right?
Yeah, because you both like to eat.
bringing some mutton with me.
You can hear
Perfect.
there's a lot of chatter about the wagon incident, and you can hear a lot of the laborers saying it was bandits. It was bandits. Maximilian says it's bandits. So it's a lot of people are kind of worried about bandits being in the woods or nearby. Maybe making
There's
camp.
definitely bandits nearby.
They're worried about working the fields with so many bandits near.
Oh, Ruby just had an epiphany. She's gonna
I
lean
mean,
over.
you can tell me.
She's gonna lean over and whisper into your ear. What was?
You mean into my shin?
She's gonna. She'll wave you down, and she's gonna whisper into your ear. What was the name of the wife that he lost? Someone said her name.
It was Joanna.
Joanna.
Yes, Joanna was the name of the wife.
Was whispered. I just realized who among the raiders or who among the mutants would object to him to Max getting married.
Oh, the
Joanna.
new wife is Helena. Joanna is the old wife. Sorry, which one were you asking about?
About Joanna.
Okay.
The old wife.
Right. That's
Who
what
among-
that's what she whispers into your ear.
She's now an orc wife or whatever. Who knows how that works? But if she found out about the marriage,
Huh.
That's a hell of a
knowing
long
that
game.
she was
12 years
knowing
in the
that-
planet.
Yeah, right.
knowing that she was
Hell
knowing that she
hath
was
no fury
traded.
like a woman scorned, though.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that made sense to me so far.
I'm playing the long game here.
Well, it sounds to me like everybody is pretty much saying Max is the everybody seems to get their news from Max in this town.
Seems that way.
Oh. What does that 3 mean?
I mean, he is a hero of the town. Saved them all.
So if Max has given everybody his information, he's probably been doing that forever. Are we sure we can trust this guy? Don't get me wrong, I'm loving this food and drink.
I don't trust.
I'm definitely sure we can't.
Talks too much.
Oh, Barsh. Do you guys want to take a quick 5-minute break? This is about when we took a break last time, so need
Amazing.
water or something, and we'll be right back.
Sounds good, yeah.
Okay.
So, everyone watching, we will be back in about 5 minutes' time to pick up where we left off. Thanks so much. Okay, we are back. Everybody should be able to hear us with our slight 30-second delay. Thank you to everybody who stuck around for our 5-minute break. We're going to pick up where we left off. So we were just interrogating, questioning, fact-finding.
It's a friendly chat.
Yeah, friendly chat with the innkeeper, Horst, and his wife, Lizette. And you're listening in on some of the people, villagers and laborers talking in the inn. So what would you guys like to do from here? It's, we'll say at this point, it's about 6:30 at night. And you can do whatever you like, really, till you meet up the next day.
Who's up for an after dinner walk?
Not me.
Yeah. Edmund, definitely not. Well, you can go in your little cart next to him.
What'd you have in mind?
Just see the town.
Yeah, can't hurt. Anybody else got any other ideas?
Not really.
This time of night, not really. But I
Walk
would go for
sounds
a walk.
Walk sounds good.
Okay.
Militia might not like it.
Ah,
Is,
well,
is this more of a town or a village?
It's a village.
It's like a bunch of little hovels plus 4 bigger buildings. One was
that
one
really
being the tavern,
tavern, the shrine,
what is it, the
of
God Emperor.
the Steger House, which is Maximilian's place, and then the laborers' quarters, which is like almost like a, I don't know, shanty town,
Bunks.
maybe.
Yeah, bunks kind of thing.
They're all hired laborers, typically foreigners,
barracks.
to work the fields.
Horst
people-
here has about as good a chance of killing 20 orcs as I do of being named God Emperor.
right. Yeah, I caught that bit.
Yeah.
His wife really seemed to buy into it.
Yeah, his wife was 10 when it happened.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Okay, so you guys head outside for a stroll, and you see the closest significant building to where you are is the shrine to the God Emperor. That's just south of your location. We'll say that the inn is central within the village. So the shrine to the God Emperor is south. The Steger mansion is to the north, and then the laborers' quarters are over to the east, set up along the palisades. It's kind of like an open area. There aren't really any houses or cabins near them, and these are, you can just see this like makeshift hovel shanty town that's set up.
As it gets darker, I'm going to be looking to see if this militia is staring at us or staring off into the woods looking for outside threats.
Yeah.
That's what they should be doing.
Go ahead and make me an awareness check, and it's a routine awareness check.
Also, is there anyone else about the town?
There are villagers mulling about. There a lot of, it's mostly men. You don't see a lot of women now that it's starting to get dark out, and with the talk of bandits around, you can only assume that is why. But there isn't a lot of activity going on. Erg, in answer to your awareness, you see a combination of both. You see the odd guard watching over the palisade, but you do have, let's say, 2 to 3 men that are also seem to always be nearby, watching, keeping a close eye on you. You know, you turn around and you look right up, and they turn away, and it's very obvious when they do so. But they do have an interest in the 5 of you, or 4 of you. I don't know. Did Edmund, are you're just hanging back and eating and drinking? Yep. Okay, the 4 of you. You split the party.
I'm not used to being this desirable here, guy.
Desirable. Hey, that woman back in the last village really you were her second choice after the dwarf turned her down. What was her name? Molly Busman.
Wench.
Yeah. She turned down the dwarf. The dwarf turned her down, I should say, and then she went right to you.
I am not a lot of ogre, though.
To a human, you are. Let's put it that way. To an ogre, no. You're a scrawny little thing. Where do you want to head for your evening stroll?
Let's check out
Let's
the
go.
church. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say the shrine, so yeah, church works.
Okay.
Alright.
You guys make your way back towards the shrine. You're familiar with it. It's a small domed building, not particularly ornate, but it's a neatly kept grounds and building itself. And the doors are wide open. There's gravestones surrounding the building itself. And
Ruby's gonna take a look at the gravestones real quick. Can she notice anything about the dates relating to 12 years ago?
the gravestones?
Yeah.
Yeah, what you do see, gravestones surround the area. There's a altar covered in aging mementos of the village's dead women and children.
Oh, that's uplifting.
And prominent is a dusty painted portrait of a woman and a 3-year-old girl with the epitaph reading, "To my Joanna and Katharina in grief and regret, Maximilian." And draped over the portrait is a talisman. Go
Is it
ahead.
the same one?
Go ahead and make me a routine scrutinize test.
Is this everyone?
Yeah, if you want to scrutinize and look further into it.
On the same.
Oh,
Oh, just missed it.
Ruby got a 2.
Well, Ruby and anybody else who passes, you immediately recognize the talisman is the same as what Waldman had around his neck.
What is that? Is that a religious talisman? She'll look around at the more learned members of the party.
Yeah, you look to old Erg, because again, he's the only one with arcane or divine magic, and he can. You can go ahead and make that check again that you made previously.
Third time's a charm here, guys.
Yeah.
Oh,
How does Erg answer Ruby's question?
I had it on routine. Was it supposed to be standard?
Yeah, standard one. Go ahead and reroll.
yeah, because we don't want that 10-point bonus or anything.
Hey.
There we go. Yay.
All right, you can tell that this
Fourth time.
has no magical properties to it whatsoever, but it does look like the sort of thing that that may carry a magic incantation to it.
Is that normal to have one of those things around here?
Good news, guys. I can tell you that this thing itself doesn't look magic, but it looks like it could be something that would be. It looks like it would normally be used in some kind of magic ritual.
Huh. Have we seen any others of these around town?
It looks like one that Maximilian's son was wearing.
Is that common for folks in a town like this to have a charm that can be magical?
I don't know. We should probably ask someone from the town like this.
I mean, from a just general knowledge standpoint, is that an odd thing?
It is unusual. Like just for general knowledge of this world, yeah, it is out of the ordinary.
Okay, Ruby's gonna go ahead and pick this one up off the gravestone.
What? 1 corruption.
Really?
Grave robbery.
Well, she's gonna. She's just borrowing it. She's going
One,
to.
1 corruption, Ruby.
Where do I put that?
On your character sheet, there's the circle right in the middle between your 2 alignments.
Yeah, I'll just put a 1 point.
Just
there.
put a 1 in there.
All right.
Right here.
All righty, Dighty.
One of us. One of us.
I'm gonna take it. Huh? Come again. Are you really? Okay. You're getting
She's just
closer.
borrowing it.
Yeah. Keep telling
Just
yourself, I'm just borrowing this. It's just borrowing.
borrowing
It's
it.
harmless.
But she wants to. Well, go ahead.
No. Go right ahead. What do you want to do with this?
Well, she wants to take it in to have a discussion with the priest.
Sure. So you guys head inside, and much like the outside, it's not overly ornate. There's pews and benches when you come in. There's a pulpit at the front, and you there's one woman sitting in the pews, and she's crying away. And there's a man who's clearly the pastor standing next to her, comforting her. And as soon as you enter, he turns around and he does almost like a double take, because it is unusual to see a dwarf, a halfling, and an ogre in this village. It's like the beginning of a joke, right?
Right. It sounds like a joke. A dwarf, ogre, and a halfling walk into that village.
Walking into the shrine of the God Emperor.
Yeah. Hello.
He puts his hand on the woman and whispers something to her, and he comes on over and he goes, yes. What can I do for you?
Sorry to interrupt your time with your parishioner there. Is it Father? We were wondering if you had a moment to spare. We're helping Max and Maximilian, and we wondered if we could ask you a couple questions.
Sure.
Wondered if you could help us.
Yes, of course. He's in his early 30s. He's dressed like a monk. So he's not terribly old.
Mm-hmm.
And
this woman crying would be the wife of the guy that was hung up, right? That was killed in the field.
What you could assume. I don't know.
Yeah. And they kept saying her name over again. Began with the D or something. Enid. Ruby will say, "How's Enid doing?"
As well as you could expect for a woman who has just lost her husband and son.
It's a terrible thing. You were here when the orcs attacked before, right?
I left to go gather troops.
She nods. She says, I know we're not supposed to speak of this, but I know since you were here for the attack, you would probably, this doesn't apply to you, but you were aware that this attack on her husband, she'll say real quietly, was orcs, right?
She goes, he goes, her husband was also my father, and that was my brother that was killed out there. This is my mother.
Do we know that?
He just revealed that to you.
We didn't before.
He just revealed it to you. He goes, if Maximilian is saying it's bandits, then it must be bandits, right?
She'll cock her head. She'll say, "Oh, I assure you, it was orcs. We were with him. I examined the tracks myself, and I can show you them. I can show you the weapon marks and the attack on the wagons."
Do you want to go ahead and charm him?
Okay.
Do it a routine. Actually, make it an easy one, because
telling the truth here.
Yeah, you're speaking from experience. You're genuine. Hey, now. He goes, he nods his head, and he's listening to your story, and you see his eyes, they kind of close in, and he goes, you ever heard of bandits that did something like this? No. This is the God Emperor's will. We failed him, and he is punishing us for our failure. This day had to come.
She nods.
Ugh.
did Erg really do that? I'm guessing he did.
Yeah, Erg isn't the most pious person.
How do you
Have a corruption point.
Yeah.
you get a corruption point?
3
You get a
corruption. Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
the
chaos
overall-
was about it.
Heretic.
What in what way do you think you failed him though? I don't understand.
He said, it's something from the past. Something from the past.
The attack 12 years ago.
He looks shocked at that. How do you know about that?
You hear things. She
Hmm.
shrugs. She says this has to do with the women and the children being taken, yes?
He nods. He goes, yes, they needed someone fast. I volunteered. I thought I'd be a hero. I slipped out. I managed to avoid the mutant gods. Reached the town of Swansea. And I still failed. I didn't know how many mutants there were. I wasn't able to persuade the authorities to put together a big troop. I was just a kid. Not a politician. Eventually a commander saw I was a preacher of the God Emperor and recognized a brother in faith. I remember riding out in front, guiding his army, thinking I'd be a hero, but I wasn't. I was a fool. And now I pay for this.
You were fooled because by the time you arrived, they had gone.
Yes, the women, the children were dead. The orcs were gone.
And your father, though, he was there still.
He was.
And your mother was still here. And how old is his mom?
Sorry, Heinrich was his brother. I apologize, I messed it up. Heinrich, who died, is the brother of the pastor. Dieter was his nephew. Sorry, I messed that up when I introduced that.
No worries. Okay. So
Heinrich was there for the last stand with Maximilian and Horst and whoever else.
Yes. And Heinrich
Maximilian.
is Pastor William's brother, Wilhelm's.
Did Maximilian often employ your father to guard his wagons?
Brother.
Yes, they're
Brother.
brother. Yes,
Yeah.
they're very
Brothers.
close, very close. The two of them.
Have they recently had any issues?
In what way?
Well, I just was wondering. I noticed when we were talking to Max that just a little bristling at the mention of your dad's name. Wasn't sure if it meant anything.
Brother's name.
Or brother's name.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. Yeah, well, it's harder for me to unlearn something
No,
than learn it.
that's fine. That's fine.
I just was just something. It was probably nothing, and she'll wave it off.
She goes, Max.
I want to see if he reacts to it though.
Yeah, he goes, Maximilian. He's weak. He wants to be good, but he's weak. Like most ambitious men, he has a lot to lose, and that turns you into a coward. He pays for it in his own way, I'm sure.
Yeah. So, perhaps you can help me with something else too. And Ruby will draw out the amulet or the talisman. We've been noticing these around town. Can you know what they are?
You go, where did you get that?
It was lying in the graveyard.
Take that back. That is a blasphemy in the eyes of the God Emperor. Put that back.
So sorry. What? She puts it away. What is it though? I've seen other people.
Put it back.
Other people around town are wearing them. What is it?
He's very agitated by this.
Do you know what we don't know what it is? Do you know what it is?
You can go ahead and make a charm, but it's going to be at a -20 because he is very agitated at you for having this, and he just keeps demanding that you take it back.
Right.
He's just kind of like tight-lipped now, and he won't get off the subject of returning it to the altar.
Oh. Yeah, okay. I failed that. So
take that back now. Leave this altar. Leave this shrine and return that. I think we're done speaking.
Well, listen, we're not going to take it back until we figure out what it is. It seems to be crucial here.
He said members of the Steger family are known to be gifted them, and that was from Maximilian's 3-year-old daughter who died. That was hers.
Ruby will go ahead and start taking it back while the others are talking. If she's out of there, maybe that'll help.
He goes, if you excuse
Gifted?
me, I must return to my grieving sister-in-law.
Gifted by whom?
He's like walking away, agitated, going back to Enid.
Ruby puts it back where it was.
Mm-hmm.
Told you I was just going to borrow it.
It's all right. The deed was done, Ruby.
I can subtract that corruption point now, right?
No, it's we'll just leave that there.
All right. It was worth it. Totally worth
for
it.
blasphemy against the emperor.
Yeah, right.
Ugh.
The God Emperor. All right, so you guys have been essentially shown the door at the shrine.
Yeah, I think we covered a lot of ground. Ruby will say to the others when it comes out, says, I think old Max might be cleaning up some loose ends here. I think he had the father's brother whacked.
Hey, Ruby, instead of putting that necklace back, do you mind if I have it?
It's sitting over there on the shrine. You're welcome, or on the grave. You're welcome to take it, but it'll cost you a corruption point.
I'm sure Ruby said that, right?
No, she did. She just says, I put it back, but I never intended on hanging on to it. That would be stealing. Stealing is wrong.
Did I get a corruption point for my sigh of disgust earlier, by the way?
No.
But it's there if you want it.
Bloody dunderhead.
Negative.
Matt, I'm very curious about it. I'm going to grab the thing.
All right, 1 corruption point. You get a corruption point. You get a corruption point.
We all again.
Pass it around, right?
Do I get one for just being so gluttonous, but then in the end, just eating the whole?
Well, it's not really a corruptive offense. Typically,
Come on, Grandfather Nurgle's calling me.
You are
You want that pus?
gluttonous and sloth, right? Is that what you're leaning towards? You really want the corruption?
Oh yeah.
It's funny.
Getting a.
I like how you're asking for corruption. Some of you, please heap corruption onto me.
It's like Sting in the Dune movie, right? Baron something.
Yeah.
But I think old Max is cleaning up loose ends. Thinking Horst is probably not long for this world. If there's only 3 of them at that negotiation, Horst is the only living person now that knows what happened, right?
Maximilian.
Besides Max.
That
Well,
makes
yeah.
means in a group.
Maybe we should talk to Horst. Apply the tell him what we put together and see if he breaks. Comes clean. Ruby says to the group in her charming halfling voice that I can't equate.
Is it?
Is it charming? You grave robber.
I put it back.
It was the act. It was the
borrowing.
act. Yeah.
I'd kind of like to go out and see the cave where that's all went down too.
It's a day's journey.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be mustering in the morning for presumably the murder of Horst.
That's another corruption point. No.
What? Thought crime. I would like to see the cave too. Actually, that was something I was thinking of. They said it was a day away, right?
Yes. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Do we have summons in tomorrow? Are we supposed to do something for Maximilian?
You were just sent to the tavern. Really, he didn't really say.
Are we not supposed to meet him in the morning?
I didn't think he said but
He did not say specifically what to do tomorrow. Just said head on over to the tavern. It's all paid for.
Absent direction, we've devolved into a CSI unit, so
right.
we're like cold case.
Well, you guys are uncovering some details.
A lot of details.
Yeah, so
that are staying true to the advertised nature of the campaign.
Yeah.
All right, let's go get murdered.
Well, okay, so we've seen the temple. Do you want to go?
There's Max's house and the laborers' quarters.
Yeah, that's what's left, huh?
We've already heard what the laborers had to say in the bar.
I feel like the laborers are all newer people. I don't know that there's any old people among them.
Yeah. What else is in the town? Is there just people's houses then?
Yeah, there's just like cottages and such. Really, the only one that stands out is the Steger mansion.
We still need to find out who's gifting them the talismans.
Do we want to go talk to Horst again and show him this talisman I got?
Hold on. Wasn't Horst one of the ones wearing a talisman?
No, it was Waldman, the son of Maximilian, and then this one was at the shrine where there was the portrait of his wife and daughter.
His daughters
killed in the orcs mutant attack.
I think we got to go back and talk to Horst, right?
Great, let's go get lied to. All right, let's go.
Heading back to the old cowardly orcs.
And at the very least, we're sleeping there.
Yeah, we should probably sleep first and then catch him in the morning.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think?
You guys want to get a good night's rest?
Couldn't hurt.
Yeah. Pretty
Can
sure
we
we're not
like
gonna be...
pre-order some hardtack and stuff too if we're gonna go out tomorrow and all that?
Yeah, well, I'm thinking after our next conversation with Horst, we're not going to be sleeping at the Cowardly Orc anymore.
Oh, wow. I don't want to know what you guys have planned.
Well, I just think it's going to end much like the visit to the church.
7 corruption.
Wait a minute.
Let's see, assaulting the innocent, 4 to 6 corruption.
We're just spitballing here. How much corruption for conspiracy to commit?
Conspiracy
how
to
much-
commit?
How much corruption for Horst for covering up lies for 10, 12 years?
Yeah, really.
You're looking at
some really damning lies. I'm sorry, good?
Yeah, you're looking at 4 to 6 corruption.
Yeah, let's go back and...
Premeditated murder is 7 to 9.
Wow.
That's it.
That's it? That's it? Wow, we could just murder this whole town and we'll be fine.
Well, if we just do it at random, it's not premeditated.
The trick
Yeah.
is to do it on a
Yeah,
rampage.
he fell onto my blade.
Crimes of passion, 2 corruption points.
No,
Yeah, they're
crime
coming.
and passion is actually on here. That's 4 to 6.
Wow.
I was passionate about slaying this entire town.
So if you're an assassin, are you exempt from the premeditation thing? You get like a pass?
I don't know. That's a good question. Like in the expert profession.
Maybe they have like a trait that reduces it or something.
Yeah, I'll take a closer look at it. I know you want to go in that direction. I also
Well,
have.
I don't think the campaign has that kind of range.
Well, if you're enjoying it, we can keep it running. Keep it going.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, you guys want to head back to the Cowardly Orcs?
Yes, please.
Right.
Does anybody else want to do anything?
I just don't feel like there's anything else about town.
Yeah, sure. You guys you're heading through the streets and you're going back towards the inn, and as you're doing so, you hear a voice calling out to you from between the houses. Sirs, ma'am, Maximilian needs you. And bursting out between 2 homes in the shadows is Klaus, the simple boy from the inn. He goes, Maximilian has summoned you to his mansion.
Okay.
He wants to talk to you. Please come with me. I'll show you the way.
He's been listening through his talismans. He knows what we're up to.
Paranoid. So he guides you through the streets, and you come upon the Steger house. It's the largest, fanciest building in the village. It's fitted with expensive carved wood paneling, and it actually seems to be a hive of activity tonight. There's quite a bit of people there. It seems, as you get closer, Klaus explains that Betty's holding court for Helena, Max's new bride. Many of the women folk are here tonight. And he shows you to the door, and the place is hustling and bustling. There's a lot of activity going on, lots of voices. You're kind of looked over as you walk in the door, and Klaus goes, please upstairs. They're up there waiting for you, and leads you through the ground floor and up to a set of stairs.
Can you take
Let's,
like a
who's all
recognized
up
test?
there?
Let's take a pause here.
Yeah,
shall we?
yeah. You can take a pause as Klaus is
Okay.
leading you through the people.
Okay. Klaus,
like-
who else up there? I think someone else had said.
Yeah. Well, now is this? Can we do like a scrutinize? Does this kid seem to be like leading us into a trap kind of thing?
Yeah,
or what?
go ahead and make me a standard scrutinize.
Nope. Everything's cool.
Do we want to say that he's collected you from the inn to go find the others? I could say he did come from the inn, so you could say that you were
Yeah,
one
I
of the
thought
ones
everybody came
summoned.
back to the inn, and I
Yeah.
figured we were all together.
They were on their way to the inn, but let's say he grabbed you because you're one of the ones that was summoned to Maximilian's.
This is my night, boys.
I know, right? All the scrutinize,
Oh,
awareness, the Dunderhead is just killing it. Yeah,
It's on a standard roll, right?
just standard roll. Yep.
How did I roll a
Fine.
90 with a 20 modifier? It's really impressive.
You gave yourself a -20.
And I still rolled
Yeah,
a 90.
re-roll. No, re-roll. It's supposed to be a standard, or like it's just a
Percent
0.
hard.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see.
All right. Oh, double success. So Erg and specifically Ruby, you both tell he's genuine. Ruby, he's a simple lad. That he is just doing what's asked of him. He seems very genuine. He has no malicious intent behind what he's doing.
Ruby's going to say, I think this lad earnestly wants us to visit upstairs because of what he was told. So, lad, do you know who all's up there?
He goes, I believe Maximilian and Waldman are up there.
Is the sellsword up there? What's his name?
Andre?
Andre?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Okay. All right. Ruby's gonna fall in behind the ogre, and she's gonna loosen the straps on her shield that sits on her back, or
Sure.
wooden shield, and she's gonna make sure her guard is off on the sword, so she can get her shield and sword ready quickly.
Behind the ogre. Let's get behind the glass cannon here.
Right. So she only needs a round to draw a weapon.
Go ahead and make a routine scrutinize test, everybody, as you're led through the house.
Failure.
Oh man, 70s, 90s.
They got a nice place here. Look at that on the wall.
Yeah.
That's a nice picture.
Ruby,
crit
and
success.
Elric and Ruby, you both notice. You confirm that you notice all of the women here are younger in age. But let's say Elric, you pick out one woman who is older than all the rest, and you watch her a little closely, Elric, and you can tell that she is kind of like the organizer and running things here. And you can only assume that this must be Maximilian's sister that was mentioned, being the Steger household. The way she's talking, carrying herself, you can hear kind of chatter, people going, "Oh, that Betty, she throws the best parties."
There's the puppet master.
Right. I'm gonna make sure that I point out this lady to everybody else in the party. Like, check her out. She's like running everything, and she's older.
So she walks near the group of you and glances you over, and kind of lets out like a as Klaus is leading you by.
I'm just
Sit
looking
my
for
cap.
necklaces.
Hit my hat.
Right,
is she wearing a talisman?
Yeah, that's a good question, actually. She is not.
She is the talisman.
Let me just double check here. That's a great question.
Maybe she's the gifter of the talisman.
Right. Yeah, I'm thinking she's the factory.
She's the factory.
That's what they need all the little kids for. There's a talisman sweatshop in the
No,
basement.
she doesn't. She does not have a talisman. She
And she's
she lets
still
out a
here in-
ha,
Oh.
and you hear her mutter under breath, "Must be here for my idiot brother." She pushes past, and Klaus leads you on. So he takes you to a large set of
I
stairs.
mean, she's not wrong.
I'm assuming Erg says that out loud.
Oh, we know we did.
Oh, yeah.
She hears it, but continues on, charging through, tending to her party. And you're led to a set of stairs, and Klaus goes, they're just up here, and he leads the way up the stairs, up a dark hallway and into up a dark set of stairs and into a hallway that's lit with candlelight. And he goes to a door and he opens it, and it opens to a large library. And sitting inside is Maximilian Waldman, and Andre is in fact there.
Mm-hmm.
And Maximilian looks up and goes, "Please, come in. We have some affairs to discuss here. We'd like to involve you." He's smoking from a pipe. He takes a few drags and puffs. He walks over to Klaus and gives him a few pennies and sends him on his way. And there's 4 chairs in the room, and he tells you, please sit down.
There's 5 of us, so Ruby will stand.
Andre notices that, and he gets up and he says, please take my chair. And he goes and stands over by the window.
Do I fit in a chair?
Yeah, you'd fit. There's some big ones in there. Maximilian's not a small man. He also enjoys the food and the drink.
It's
Ruby's
more a
not-
question of I'm 8'10".
Yeah, you're hunched over walking through here, but you're also a lanky guy. Well, what are you? 750 pounds. Still, you can squeeze into a chair.
Did you ever have a parent-teacher conference with your kindergartner's teacher?
I'm sitting in one of those old.
I in fact have.
what
I'm a
it looks
mere 6'30", by the way.
like. Oh, that better be a damn well-crafted chair. Ruby is not going to sit. She is going to stand in the opposite corner of the sellsword, and she'll just casually lean on the wall. She's trying to look cool, but her blood's up.
Yeah.
I'm just staring at him.
Okay. Yeah. They're okay. So you guys are all have your backs.
I'm sitting down.
She's going to scrutinize too, but she fails
Whoa!
horribly.
What are you trying to scrutinize?
Just anything and everything, and apparently nothing because
Nothing at all. You're so busy watching and scrutinizing and sizing up the room that
everything escapes me.
yeah, essentially you don't even notice that Andre is standing, at the window behind you, like directly behind you.
Wait.
Critical fail.
That's not that bad.
That's
It's not-
99 sellsword.
She's not having a stroke.
The sellsword is right behind you.
Ugh.
Okay, so as you sit down, you guys come in the room, and Maximilian, this is my son Waldman. Please hear him speak. He has something to say. And he gestures to his son. Please tell them. And Waldman lets out a big sigh and goes, as you probably know, the story about the bandits is a lie. The convoy was attacked by mutants. This is obvious. I was able to track the killers of Heinrich and Dieter from the bodies as far as the old hill road. I'm sure the mutants are camping in the cave under the summits of the Horned Monk, where they'd have a strong defensive position, since the road is the only approach a large group could take. There seem to be no reports or rumors of a large group of mutants in the area. So wherever they came from, they came right here. They came right to Vorburg, bypassing any other targets along the way. There's been no chatter from any of the other villages. Otherwise, the road wardens of Swansea would have reported it while they were there. So the only mutants that we're aware of are the ones that attacked us 12 years ago and killed my mother and sister.
Sorry. At that point, Ruby will say, I'm sorry, killed?
Killed in that massacre at the caves. Go
But
ahead,
you
everybody.
didn't find the body, did you?
We did not. There's blood. People were killed. Who knows what those filthy things did with the bodies?
But they could have taken them, right?
I suppose it's possible. Why don't you, all of you, go ahead and make a routine awareness test.
See if I can top my scrutinize test here. Ugh.
So Ruby. Ooh.
Just missed.
Barsh.
Second roll, I've missed by 2. That's annoying.
My awareness list. What is it? Simple?
It is routine. You get a +10.
Oh, I did even better.
Oh, I finally passed the
Hey!
check tonight.
So Barsh and Ruby, you both pick up as he's speaking. He's fiddling and playing with the talisman around his neck.
What you got there?
He looks at you. What are you talking about?
Around your neck. Why you playing with that thing?
Sorry, it's a habit. It's a habit. This was a gift from my mother. What?
I feel a lot easier you leave it alone.
Why? Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Oh!
oh! He goes, it is a gift from my mother who's dead. It comforts me, all right? I don't appreciate this.
Mama's boy, huh? I never knew mine.
You guys are hilarious.
And I'm better for it.
Oh.
Uh, so he pauses, and are there any further questions aside from the gift from my departed mother?
So you'd like us to head up to the caves and take down these orcs for you? Is that the plan?
That's where with that Maximilian leans in. He goes, I have a proposal. We don't know why they're back and why they attacked. But we fear they could be sizing up the village again for another raid like they did 12 years ago. We need you to go take a closer look. My son Waldman knows the way. He'll lead you on a reconnaissance mission to the camp. He knows a secret path up the Horned Monk that's accessible by a small group such as yourselves. And it'll bring you behind on a ridge. You'll have a
Small is
view.
a relative term there, sir.
Huh?
Well, listen, whatever it costs, we should really get Horst to come with us. He took out 20 of these things last time.
Are you trying to convince
Ruby will
him?
chuckle at that.
Are you just kind of blurting that out, or are you trying to like convince him of
I
something?
am just blurting that out.
Yeah. He kind of stops and he goes, aye, Horst and I were younger men of those days, and it was quite a battle. He was very impressive with a sword back then.
I'm sure he'd be able to do at least 10 now.
Horst has gotten soft in his old age.
Wow.
I need you. We need to gather information and find out why they're here. So you follow my son to the ridge. He'll be able to overlook their camp, where we think they are, and you come back and we'll decide a course of action to undertake. Don't approach them or attack them head on. It's sure death, but we need a clear idea of numbers, and if we can find out what they're doing here.
So your son will be with us the whole way?
Yes, Waldman will accompany you.
Ruby's thinking to herself, not out loud, that he hasn't demonstrated a lot of attachment to his other kids, so she's not sure this is that big of an offer, but okay.
So you will do it?
Yeah.
You know, when we took on this, we didn't. Our original goal was to bring back some bales. We know where they are. We know what's going on. But now you have us dealing with mutants. You have us running all hither and yon. I really think we need to make some more money for this. I'm not dying for a couple of coppers.
With that, Maximilian gets like angry, agitated. You can see Waldman is disappointed with what you have to say, Erg, And Andre seems to just like regard you with just utter contempt with that.
I mean, you're lucky he didn't suggest that you sell the current women and children.
And Maximilian, like through gritted teeth, goes, "You will get an unspecified reward if you succeed. There are innocent lives at risk here." And he's just fuming that you would even suggest that you need more money to do such an honorable thing to try and get some information to save a village.
Can I?
One of the innocent lives is mine.
Can I try another scrutinize to see how sincere he's being?
Yeah.
Normal rating, standard rating? Or?
Go ahead and do a standard rating.
Yeah, no.
So
Really just not reading the room right now.
Again, he goes, "Please, this is the right thing to do. Look at all the young women and children here. Do you want a repeat of what happened 12 years ago?"
Oh, I'm so tempted to say, do you?
I'm so tempted to say, and what happened truly.
I'm not that big of a dunderhead.
Well, Ruby's going to wait to see how the others react.
The others haven't reacted. He did say that he will give you an unspecified reward upon your return.
More coin will loosen my weapon.
Gentlemen, can we have the room to discuss?
They look at you like Maximilian's fuming now. Andre puts his face palms, puts his head in his hand. Andre's getting agitated. Like Andre from the windows, "Gentlemen, will you or
Is
will
Andre
you not?
going
This
with
man
us?
has shown you nothing but grace. He has paid your way here. He is putting you up for the night. The least you can do is accompany his son to go look at a camp. No one's asking you to endanger your lives by attacking these mutants. We can send for troops once we have further information."
Well, didn't the last group you sent up to that cave 12 years ago get slaughtered?
And if it's safe, why don't you go?
Andre
Yeah,
says, "I must stay here to protect the others. Look what happened when I wasn't here. Those people died on the road."
Well, we can protect them. If you want to go with the boy.
You want me to go look at a camp? I'm not exactly Mr. Inconspicuous over here.
Yeah. He's 8 feet tall.
Maximilian finally stands up, fuming, and goes, "I will pay you 2 silver each upon your return. Are you happy with that? Protect my boy."
Okay. Well, at that point, his boy's collateral for 10 silver. All right. Well, now Ruby, this has kind of piqued Ruby's interest a little bit because she does like her silver. She's kind of like looking at the other ones like now, like, huh? We wanted.
That sounds more worth it.
We wanted to get. She's thinking we wanted to get a look at this place anyway. So she says, "All right, 2 silver."
Look at the place, kill the son, stash his body, all the evil things that you guys do.
Awesome.
All right.
Hoping I don't get corruption points for thinking about stuff.
No. With that, Maximilian, he's still just fuming mad. He goes, "Fine. Get some rest at the Cowardly Orcs, and we'll collect you in the morning." And he points to the door. "Leave my residence now."
Not getting warm fuzzies here.
And Andre starts moving towards you, kind of ushering you out. "Yes, it's time to go, lads."
On the way down the stairs, I say, "Well, that went well."
We got silver.
With the door still open, right? Of course.
No, I'll say it as we're getting to the bottom of the stairs.
All right. Let's leave off there. It's a good point to leave off at for tonight, and we're almost at our end time. So thank you guys for playing
Fun
in this
session.
second part of the session. What was that, sorry?
That was a fun session.
Oh, thank you.
Covered
Glad-
a lot.
Glad you guys enjoyed it. Again, a little bit different than what we're used to in some of the games we play. A lot of social intrigue and investigation going on here. You guys put on your
Right.
Columbo hats and or Columbo coats and went out there and hit the village.
And Barsh is excellent.
I also struggle with what would my character know and be able to put together, right?
Yeah, that's fair. It can be tough depending on what you are and what
Okay.
you've rolled.
Because I get the feeling that the mother or the wife, the old wife, is behind it, and she can hear what's going on through the talismans.
Ooh, I didn't think about it. That would be pretty cool.
Mhm. Yeah.
So she knew about the marriage. She
Right.
knew that they were going back to town.
Oh,
She knows that we're going up there tomorrow.
she could be some kind of witch, yeah.
I mean,
Well, that's exactly right. And I think that Max knew that. I think Max was not upset about his friend getting killed.
no, I don't think so at all.
There's something. I think that you're right about that, Wes. But I think there's something else going on too with because he's not acting like somebody who's got financial problems. He left a fortune in hemp lying around the middle of the road.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not what somebody who's having financial problems does.
Do we
Yeah,
get
he's
any
being
RP?
tormented by his past. That's the problems he has.
Yeah. You guys are going to get another 150 experience this week. So, like I mentioned after the session last week, 100 is pretty standard. And then you guys earn bonus experience by doing certain things and covering certain information. Role playing all gets you extra stuff.
Oh, nice.
Where do we put that?
It's a current rewards and a total rewards at the bottom, close to the bottom of the sheet.
So
Under
that's going to get
rewards?
you 2
Yeah, it's on the rewards
advances
tabs, yeah.
this week. Because you got 1 advance last week for your 150.
Oh.
And now you've got 200 points to spend this week with the
Yeah,
50 from
but-
last week and the 50 from this week.
I took a bronze event.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Very good. So
And,
that's the end of our session. We're going to end the stream here. Thank you to everybody who tuned in and watched us play or listened to us play and stuck around for the whole thing. Hopefully you come back same bat time, same bad channel next week and see what happens to our heroes as they set off to the horned monk in the wilderness. Have a good evening.